So US President Donald Trump made it very clear, Iran will not have a navy. There is no question of any Iranian navy that could challenge or threaten movement of ships in the Strait of Hormuz. How are they going about it? One, satellites, ships, submarines, intelligence agencies, they're tracking the movement of every Iranian warship, whether in the Strait of Hormuz, whether in the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Sea, or even in harbor, and they're systematically being taken down. And this is a rare example. So during World War II, you had about 2,000 ships that were sunk between 1939 and 1945. German U-boats would go and sink Allied ships. But then post-1945, till 2026, in the past 80-odd years, you've just had 4 ships that have been sunk by a submarine, including one, INS Kukri, in the 1971 war. So this is quite rare post the Second World War. So Iranian ship Dana, a missile frigate that was sunk by a US Navy submarine in the Indian Ocean region. This happened off the coast of Sri Lanka in international waters of Gaul. Then Shahid Soleimani, this is a Soleimani class corvette that was destroyed near the Strait of Hormuz in the Iranian coast. Till the time of the press conference late yesterday, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, gave details of 17 Iranian ships having been sunk and now lie at the bottom of the sea. Since that, 3 more have been sunk. So 20 Iranian ships. Now, when you look at the entire inventory, operational ships and of all sizes, Iran doesn't have a very large navy. It's not a blue water navy. It's a brown water or a coastal navy that they have. To a large extent, they have missile boats, they have destroyers, they have frigates, they have corvettes. These are various categories of ship depending on their size and displacement and the kind of weapons and systems that they carry. A predominant number of their ships are actually FACs of fast attack crafts and some landing ships. Each and every one of them are being hunted and will be sunk, is what the Americans say. Let me get you what the Americans are saying about this. Let's listen in to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and other comments that are coming in.
Iran's senior leaders are dead. The so-called governing council that might have selected a successor, dead, missing, or cowering in bunkers, too terrified to even occupy the same room. Senior generals, mid-level officers, enlisted ranks, they can't talk or communicate, let alone mount a coordinated and sustained offensive. That's not great for morale. The Iranian Air Force is no more, built for 1996, destroyed in 2026. The Iranian Navy rests at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. Combat ineffective, decimated, destroyed, defeated, pick your adjective. In fact, last night, we sunk their prize ship, the Soleimani. Looks like POTUS got him twice. Their Navy, not a factor. Pick your adjective, it is no more. In fact, yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, and we'll play it on the screen there, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II.
To date, we've hit over 2,000 targets, as Admiral Cooper said in his video last night. We've destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, including, in addition to the frigate outside of the area, 1 submarine, and effectively neutralized at this point in time Iran's major naval presence in theater out there. A United States Navy fast attack submarine has sunk an enemy combatant ship using a single Mark 48 torpedo to achieve immediate effect, sending the warship to the bottom of the sea. I want to remind everybody that this is an incredible demonstration of America's global reach. To hunt, find, and kill an out-of-area deployer is something that only the United States can do at this type of scale. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, CENTCOM will continue to strike infrastructure and naval capability, and we'll continue to assess our progress against the military objectives. it does take time for us to collect that information and to assess en route. Much of our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capability is currently hunting and killing ballistic missile launchers and one-way attack capability. We're precise in that assessment, and we call balls and strikes in that.
We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far, we've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side. For decades, the Iranian regime has harassed international shipping. Today, there's not a single Iranian ship underway in the Arabian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz, or Gulf of Oman, and we will not stop. We will continue to conduct dynamic targeting operations. We're hunting Iran's last remaining mobile ballistic missile launchers to eliminate what I would characterize as their lingering launch capability.
That's a very major statement that's being made by the U.S. Central Command Chief, Admiral Cooper, when he says the last of Iran's missile launchers are now being hunted. The intense bombing that's taken place, and wave after wave after wave of bombing. They were giving details yesterday how one wave is carried out by the Israeli Air Force, then by sea-launched cruise missiles, then you have airstrikes that are carried out by the United States of America, then missiles that are sent out by the United States of America. So it's one wave after the other. Now, they were talking about the 2003 shock and awe campaign in the second Gulf War, 2003. Now that shock and awe campaign has been intensified altogether to the next level, double the size. But then sinking of Iranian Navy warships, and not just in the Gulf of Oman, but also in the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Sea, and now in the Indian Ocean. This has massive ramifications. If US Navy submarines are lurking in the Indian Ocean region, which of course predominantly all Navy submarines do, they remain underwater, they do not announce their presence, but sinking a warship in international waters, while it's par for course when two countries are at war, what does this escalation mean for countries in the region? What does it mean for Sri Lanka or for India, the main maritime force in the entire Indian Ocean region?